Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're gonna ask ourselves, what's the point? Of course, it's a little bit of a too general question, so we're gonna try to specify it. What's the point of playing anything else than the Type 71? Since this tank, the Japanese Tier 10 Heavy Tech Tree tank, was available during the 9.0 update, if I'm not mistaken, we see plenty of them everywhere. And it's totally logical. This tank went as a whole replacement for any single heavy tank that you can find at Tier 10. For multiple reasons, in my opinion, two of them. Statistically talking, the tank is just too good, it doesn't have any flaws, and the second thing is obviously the equipment allowing you to change your gameplay from something really heavy and kind of slow, but with a great gun depression, allowing you to work your versatility pretty much everywhere, or something that goes extremely fast, still quite well armored, meaning that you can play like a medium even if you don't have the same mobility as the medium, obviously, because otherwise it would be even more broken. But I would like you to take a quick look at what's happening with the Type 71 in front of me. The guy is gonna stay here for at least a whole minute, and even if he's taking a couple of shells, in the end he managed to bounce maybe 3000 damage. And this is quite problematic because the Type 71 is probably the only tank in the game that is capable of such an output. Because obviously, when you take a look at the tank, look at this. I'm gonna shoot and I just switched to gold shell. This tank is so armored that even with this angle, literally, so with my armor piercing thing that is telling me that I can penetrate, it's gonna bounce. And it's the case with pretty much every single shell that hits the Type 71. It just bounced. And despite the fact that, yes, I love the Type 71, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people love it as well, it caused a real problem. Why would you bother playing a mouse with a big armor and no mobility when you have a better armor with this tank and a better mobility? Same for the E100. Why would you bother playing something that has 640 alpha damage with around 2.8k DPM when you have this one featuring 3.2k DPM? You see, it's all of those little aspects about the tank that make you believe that yes, it's the king of the heavies and there is nothing you can do about it. It's just here to totally replace every single other tanks. And it goes on also for the tank destroyer, for the mediums, for pretty much everything. I can tell you that during tournaments, people tend to play 7 Type 71s because even without a strategy, you have more chances to win than a well-organized team using regular tanks. And this, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that Wargaming will do something about the tank. They are not doing it right now because it only has been 2 updates and people will get mad if Wargaming nerfed it all of a sudden. But I don't think that this tank will last long with its current statistics. It's impossible, and if it's the case, it's probably gonna kill the whole heavy playstyle at Tier 10 because nobody wants to bother with anything else than a Type 71. And the main problem is that now, when it was released, we saw 3-4 of them, and we thought, okay, that's a new tank. Now with the Battle Pass, we have access to a lot of tanks for a cheap price because, you know, of the reduction we get. But it's gonna come down, okay? It's just for a couple of weeks. But it's been 2 months, and people keep spamming that tank again and again and again. And for good. I mean, I'm not blaming people playing that tank. It's obviously the best choice, strategically talking. You have much more chances of winning using the Type 71 than any other tanks in the game. But Wargaming, do something. Do something, because when you manage to finish a game without even trying to fuck around, just finding out with 4.5k damage and 4k damage bounced, there is a problem. I mean, I got shot with gold shell by the WZ and the Object 268, both of them bounced, and at the end they were so desperate that the WZ shot me with HE. It shows you how crazy the statistics of that tank are. Let's take a look at the perfect example to illustrate what I just cited. Basically, the Concept 1B is, after the 9.1 update, one of the few tanks that should matter, because it's one of the few that received a buff instead of a nerf. But Even when you take a look at it, yes, the tank is definitely better than before and is effectively a good tank. But would you truly rather play this tank than a Type 71? Knowing that both tanks are doing the exact same thing, the main difference being that you have a little bit more mobility with the Concept 1B, but a better armor, a better gun, a better everything beside the mobility on the Type 71. I think the answer is going to be no. You would rather play the Type 71, and this is the problem because this logic can apply to pretty much every single heavy tank at tier 10. Now, there is one thing we need to insist on. I took the example of the Concept 1B, but the Concept 1B is kind of a premium tank, which means that if Wargaming touches it, it's only going for the goods. Whereas with the Type 71, you have this little risk of seeing your favorite tank getting nerfed. Here with the Concept 1B, it's not necessarily the case, and if it's nerfed, it's not going to be by a lot. But it's problematic, and I truly don't have a clue why Wargaming decided to put that tank with those statistics in the game in the first place. I mean, they must have gotten feedbacks from the testers that probably said that it was a little bit broken, or maybe that it was even more broken during the test. Maybe that during the test, it didn't have the choice between those equipments and it was a tank with 10 degrees of gun depression and the same mobility as the Concept 1B. We don't know, we will never know, and we will just have to wait for Wargaming to effectively do something for us to stop bragging or ranting about this tank. Maybe you agree with me. If that's the case, you know what to do. Feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And personally, I would like to get your opinion for me to know if I'm the only one crazy thinking that this tank doesn't belong with those statistics in the game, or if I'm just being dramatic, because sometimes it happens. We are all human after all. So feel free to tell me in the comments. And personally, I'm gonna see you soon for a new video, hopefully on something a little bit less broken. See ya.